Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Tuesday, June 25th, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button. Trying to get to 10,000 subs. I think we're near 9,000, almost there. I hope to get there. If we do, I'll let you guys know. But let's get back to work. Yesterday, the Nasdaq was down. I don't know if you guys saw that. S&P was red, but the Dow did nice. Rotation day yesterday. We talked about crypto pulling back. NVDA sliced the 20-day. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But let's start with futures because really, as of right now, with not many catalysts around, I think futures is pretty much one of the better ways to trade this market at this point, and there's not really much at the moment. So Dow futures are down 73 after having a 300-point day yesterday. The Nasdaq is bouncing 0.42%. You got that chart here in front of you. You're going to look at it. S&P 500 is up 0.17%, and the Russell's down 0.27%. So what? A rotation only lasts a day nowadays. Dollar index up 0.18%. The VIX is at 1343, up 0.75 point. Crude oil is red 0.25%. $2.51 for gasoline futures, up 0.16%. Gold is red with the dollar being higher, 23.34, down 0.41. Silver down about a quarter point, 29.45. So let's take a look at Nasdaq this morning, and you could see here what you have a box shaded. That is the gap or the gap to fill. Actually, the gap isn't exactly perfect, but the gap to fill, that is the change in contract, just the change in contract. So it wasn't really a price discovery gap in terms of like, oh, a big shot up due to some kind of earnings or something like that, or a strong economic data report. But again, it did fill at least. So again, we can kind of use that moving forward as at least some near-term support, right around 700, we'll call it. So about 133 points above support. Let's just call it that for now. I put an alert here below 500. And the reason I say that is that you could see two daily candles. That seems to be that next level of price support. So kind of looking at it the prism of, okay, more likely June's not going to be that great. We're going to have some rebalancing. Tech stocks have been moving higher. A NASDAQ pullback is welcome. I mean, the expectation was that we were going to fall a little bit this week, right? That was kind of the expectation. But looking at it here, the question is it buy the dip or sell the rip? And if you're looking at the larger time frames, we know that buy the dip has worked out. So, but it is a concentrated stock market. Good to see other stocks are actually getting a little bit of love. All the value names like CVS was bouncing. Shopify was moving higher. Target was moving higher. So again, AMD was catching a bid. So, there's some names that were playing some catch up, which is good to see. It's not a flight of capital out of the market. It's more of a rotation, at least just yesterday. But as of right now, is there anything to do here? Let's take a look at Nasdaq as a possible buy the dip opportunity. So we're going to go to the 1 hour, and you can see this is still that gap that was filled, right? Or slightly filled, not yet. Again, this is not really a price gap more than a contract rollover. So you're probably thinking to yourself, all right, Carlos, so let's say if you want to trade futures here, what would be something that we're looking at? I would say we could start at 19,900 would be a good level to maybe get interested in going long, possibly to 20,000. We need about 70 points to get there. But in terms of a stop, probably 800. You'd have to go in 100-point increments, I think, on NASDAQ. So I don't love it at this very juncture, but I'm keeping my eye on it. So I got some support levels and some resistance levels to break. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. And I have calls on this one. So this one was a very tough one to watch yesterday, but it is for July. Channel breakdown. Again, this candle was yesterday in the morning. Not much I could do. My hands are tied. 120, 120. We are back above the 20-day. Do the dip buyers come in for NVIDIA? This is where it gets interesting. If you get above 125, I mean, I already have calls, but 125, that's probably where 130 is going to be the next target. So we can kind of do the 100-point increments of NASDAQ in terms of $5 moves on NVIDIA. So this needs to be recaptured. I said this on the blog yesterday. Well, watch us and charts for options members that the 20-day moving average has to be retaken. It didn't get recaptured yesterday. I said that if it was, it would be a big win for the bulls. We're capturing it this morning. You can see 121.34 is your 20, 121.50 is your current bid. So again, a little bit of a bounce. Let's get above 125 first. If 125 breaks, that was a resistance point from 3 Fridays ago and 2 Fridays ago, 2 Thursdays ago, excuse me. So we'll use that if that's a breaking point. Maybe we take a look at another opportunity to trade it masterclass. Maybe I'll send it out some NVIDIA calls. We'll get into the 130s if we break 125. I think that's fair with time. We'll see what we get on that end. So that's where we are. Let's take a look at S&P, then we'll answer some questions. And that has a price gap as well. But Nasdaq's almost filled it. So 54.87 is my support here on S&P 500 futures. If we're looking for a breakout level, you got to get above 5,600. That would probably be your confirmation. Obviously, that would be all-time highs. We do know that July is seasonally strong. First 10 days of July. Last couple of weeks of June is weak. July fund flows, seasonality gets stronger. So right now, we're just kind of wading through the waters, seeing that if there's any kind of meltdown or any kind of rug pull of any kind to make opportunities available for us going into July. And that's what I'm looking at. All right. I know tons of questions. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is there any FINRA series exams you would recommend to the average trader? You don't need any FINRA exams if you just want to trade on your own. It's only if you want to go ahead and manage public money or you want to work for a bank. Tesla and Apple. Thanks so much, Carlos. You're welcome. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla is just tough to look at because it's just chop, and I hate it. It's just been stuck, and got to get me above 195.65. I know it's far away from where we are, but I just can't do anything right now with this company. And again, we've been kind of bullish on it really since mid-April after their earnings with that big pop. We traded the earnings on that one, and that worked out for us on Tesla. But as of right now, we're just going to wait. We're going to wait and be patient. Apple. Apple was a name I was expecting for a pullback below 205. It's not happening. It's bouncing. So 210. Probably the best bet is just to wait because if you get below 205, we can short to 200. I'm glad I didn't send that short because it never broke my alert. But again, I just want a retest of 200. Not asking for the moon here. Just get me back to all-time highs, previous all-time highs, and then we can see if we can buy there. And that's right near the 20-day. So the same 20-day that NVIDIA sliced yesterday and is back above, Apple's way above theirs. Amazon, please. Amazon, I just read that their Prime Day is coming. They're up pre-market, thank God, because I got into calls. That was part of our watch list. Not only did it break our alert, it was above our break on the alert as well. It was from the watch list. So far, so good. Holding up on the 4-hour. Fingers crossed, because I really want to get this W for everybody. 191.07. If we can recapture it, we're going to catch Amazon. We have Amazon calls running. It's a beautiful upside trend. It was part of the watch list again, out of 3-year highs. Just rejected, possibly major supply area, you can call it, where people are just selling when they're back to break even from 2021, I guess. And they just want to take profits back at all-time highs. That happened. That happened to Netflix. That happened to Meta. Let's see if we get this bounce. That's really all we're looking for. And so far, so good. It is up this morning. So let's see if we get a better day than we did yesterday, because yesterday really sucked. Let's see. NVIDIA options. Yep, we talked about that earlier. But just in case you just got in, above 125, that's going to be the key. The most important level is what we are back above because we sliced it yesterday, which is the 20-day. 120, 113. We're above it now. 125. That's the number we need to watch. If you can get it back 125, then you're going to get back. It's going to be a buy the dip opportunity. Remember, NVIDIA hit correction territory, minus 12%, 11% in 3 days. As much as things like to go up to, you can get oversold as well. Imagine oversold on NVIDIA. I never thought I'd say those words since 2020. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you get oversold. A lot of profit taking, sure. Could we retest that 97.32 level, that previous all-time high, kind of similar to what we're expecting? That would be great. I just wouldn't hold my breath when you have strong seasonality coming, guys. There's going to probably be some rebalancing with NVIDIA, and that's going to be a part of it. So I still like it for upside. That's why I have calls. I'm just happy it's back above the 20. In terms of dip buying opportunity, I think it's a pretty good time for NVIDIA. We're getting a little bit of a pullback. I kind of want to wait it to the end of the month, end of the week, to see if we got a little more, maybe But yeah, Nvidia is not a bad stock to own. Obviously, we know this. Last time we bought the dip was 900 pre-split. That was before earnings. That was in May. The thing jumped $300, guys, in a month, in weeks. This is just a volatile name. This is very similar to Tesla in 2021, where it just the king of the options market. Everyone wants to talk about it, and it's just the rotation. That's how it goes. Nvidia is a great company. Obviously, we've been talking about that name for years. So again, I still think Nvidia is great. I would love 97.32 to pull back. Let's not hold our breath. I think if you get near 110, that's pretty great. What if NVIDIA does not retake the 20? What is next support? All right, let's see it. Oh, you're above major moving averages pretty much across the board. But again, if it doesn't retake that level, the 20, like say it rejects, next support level is right around 110. Morning, Carlos, thoughts on semiconductor stocks like ARM? Possible double topping, maybe. Around the daily here, 141 is your support here. That's the 20-day. In terms of options, I have never traded ARM. Really, it's just kind of sticking with the same semiconductors, Micron, AMD, NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and such. Um, in terms of is this tradable? Yeah, if you wait for 141, that'd be a nice dip buy. NVIDIA and Amazon both, I'm heavy. Yep, we just talked about that. Yep. What would you add on AMD stock long term? AMD's got to give me something. I'm going to cross my fingers for 140. I don't know if we get there because of July. If you get above 175, I would say actually wait for 185. I know it's kind of counterproductive. Oh, why would you want to buy when it goes a little higher? Because it would confirm at least the trend and that end. Look at SMCI. That fell yesterday. And you could see that trend line breakout pulled back, but it's bouncing now. So I still think SMCI is fine over time. I think AMD is fine over time. You're really just finding the nuance of the price. And that's really where everything's about. But if you're someone that just wants to get exposure to these names, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to go higher over time. We know what semiconductors are. This is the same thesis I talked about 2023 January. Semiconductors are the new oil. If you want to take a look at that video, the top 10 stocks of 2023, I go into more detail why I like semiconductors before the fact, and that doesn't change, guys. Semiconductors are really again the new oil that's going to generate a new economy. It's very similar to the 1990s with the internet. Yes, people say dot-com bubble. I get that. Everyone expects the worst, and yes, you're going to get a pullback. You're going to get a flush. I promise you, in a couple years, you will get a nasty pullback in stocks, semiconductors included. It cycles, guys, and right now the cycle of money is flowing into these semiconductors. Remember when names like crypto back in the day, EV companies, and then you get some flush outs. So names, I'm not saying implying that ARM is one of them, but let's say all these other semiconductor companies and their multiples, they're going to get some, acquisitions and mergers. And that's usually when, you kind of get a top. That's what happened in the dot-com bubble. If you guys remember, maybe you guys don't remember, Time Warner and AOL merged. That was pretty much indicative of the top in the dot-com era. And a lot of people don't throw this in with the dot-com bubble because it happened in 99, 2000. Remember, 2001, we had 9/11. So again, that was a big deal in the stock market. It was a big deal in terms of, global economy. So, unless we expect that, I wouldn't expect dot-com bubble flush, but, pull back like 2022. Yeah, that's going to be normal. We had that in 2018. If we do every 2-year rule, I guess 2026 is going to be bear market. That's the expectation, I guess, if we work on that basis. So again, yes, I do love semiconductors. Yes, got to think long term here in those names. Really, all you're looking for is a better price. That's really how you do it. You're welcome. Have a great trading day. IWM calls. Just chop, man. God, I hate this market right now. It's just chop. IWM has literally nothing to do here. I guess, gun to my head above 205, we can have that conversation, but this can get to 195. So you got a $10 spread there of just choppy. I'd say just forget it for now. You got to find something that's going to work out with some volume, with some juice. Let's look at Zillow. Nothing here either. Oh, wow. It's just been absolute chop since 2022. So I don't like Zillow here. That's for sure. CVS. Here we go. on the way to fill its gap at 66.98. I didn't see a lot of volume. Personally, I didn't see any volume on CVS anyways, but 66.98 would be your next target. I don't know, maybe there's some volume there, but it is above the 50-day and above the 20-day. Some dip buying coming in at CVS Pharmacy. How about that? Sometimes price just gets so cheap that it's hard to ignore. IBM, the OG in AI, I say. Remember Watson? That was like kind of the first original AIs. Not the best candle, I'll give you that much. You do have another gap to fill. A lot of earning gaps that need to be filled around 180. Would it be tradable? No, but that would be a good target to look forward to is 180. So if you were to trade it, let's say you bought here at 175, expect possibly a $6 move within the next 3 months. Is that going to get you off your seat? Probably not. Not in this growth environment. And the growth environment is only going to be accelerated, guys, when rates are cut because money will get cheaper. So this is more of just positioning, posturing by the market. The market, in my opinion, is already pricing in rate cuts. They are. The question is when. And that's really what it's all about. That's why we're here. We are figuring out exactly when things will happen. Let's take a look at Nike. This one was an L for me in options. God, thank you for the reminder. 98. Still have that gap to fill at 99. I mean, that's going to be rather redundant to trade. So 99 is the target to 100. It's just an earnings gap fill, just like IBM. So if you bought shares today and you're going to make $3, again, not exactly exciting. Kind of the dog days of summer, I guess. Just really hoping that July's seasonality gets better. But if there is any news, guys, I will let you know. But as of right now, end of the month, end of the quarter. Yesterday, you had some Nasdaq pullback, but it was a tough one. It was very choppy for a minute. The only thing that pulled back initially was NVIDIA. A lot of profit taking in the morning. Who knows? But getting a bounce this morning about a $3, $2, or $3 move. So we'll see if Amazon, NVIDIA, and these names kind of bounce the Nasdaq in terms of a buy the dip opportunity, and that's what it's looking at for now. Again, it's still early. So again, I think 19,900, that's about 60 points away from where we are. I think you can possibly go along to 20,000. I don't know what real catalyst will push that. There is really no reason at this point to buy tech stocks, in my opinion. There just isn't, unless there is an opportunity in terms of a pullback. So everyone right now is really looking for discounts rather than get me out. I'm worried about the economy. At least that's kind of what I'm seeing in terms of the VIX. That's what I'm seeing in terms of bond yields. So again, the macro is still supportive of a green light. Things are good. I can't see any reason other than a world war that would change that. We do have a presidential debate on Thursday. Would that move markets? Short answer, no. Long answer, again, depends on what the hell happens. If it turns into an MMA brawl between Trump and Biden in the middle of the debate floor, yeah, I would assume the S&P would fall. That would be hilarious. But I mean, my goodness, if that happened. I don't think stocks would be on our mind at that point, but I don't see any short-term issues. Even if Wednesday's GDP number comes in weaker than expected, that actually helps the fact of a accelerated rate cut. So it's kind of like we're at a point now, like, why would you buy here and you're definitely not selling? That's kind of the expectation, at least for now, so far. Thoughts on the stock trader calendar? I think you mean the almanac. The almanac only has the bearish day being yesterday, and this week nothing. And RGS, I don't know what RGS is. So Regis Corporation, what happened? Whoa. Okay, so what, a 300% move in the day pre-market? I don't know much about them. So you're gonna have to fill me in on this one. It's just a big pop. I wouldn't do anything on those. Kind of treat it like an earnings report. I don't think you want to chase that at the moment. Anyways, I think there's other stuff out there that's better off. We'll leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you again for joining me. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Scrolling at the bottom is our Discord server, free live market blog, news, analysis, and all that information that you need to trade through your day. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers all.